Hey everybody, I'm Samurai Sam, and I am doing my first ever pickup video. I had somebody comment and say that I should do them. I've had kind of a part of me that's wanted to do them, but it is a little bit of work because I kind of have to keep the games to the side or tear them apart from my collection in order to get them for the video. But I decided to give it a shot, and I'm going to show you all the games I've acquired since my game collection tour video, which I posted fairly recently. And maybe I'll just do this every once in a while once I get enough games to show off. It's not going to be like every week or even necessarily every month. This is going to be the first one. I got quite a bit of things to show you actually. So here we go. I stopped by a big tag sale at the center of my town this past Saturday. I picked up 3 games from that. I got Mario Golf for 64. I've actually never owned it. My cousins down the street used to own it, and I played it with them. I've also owned the GameCube Mario Golf for a long time. This is my first time ever owning the original on 64, so that's pretty cool. And did you know that in this game, you have to unlock Mario? Like, seriously? It's Mario Golf, and you have to unlock Mario. And he's not even the first character you get, either. That's a really good trivia question. Has Mario ever been an unlockable character? Yes, in Mario Golf. Also, I got Luigi's Mansion for dirt cheap, which was awesome because the game's actually gone up in value in the past year or so, and it's worth well more than like the $3 that I got it for. I think it was. This is great to have. I actually didn't have this, and then I got Final Fantasy X. I already had Final Fantasy X International. I had the US version a long time ago and sold it when I got International. Found this one for dirt cheap, so I figured might as well pick it up. It makes my Final Fantasy X-2 look a little less lonely there on my stack. And I stopped by another yard sale, and I picked up Time Splitters for PS2. Didn't have this one. Now I have all 3 Time Splitters games, which is cool. I'm not really a huge fan of first-person shooters, but these games are fun and they're funny. So I'm glad to have that. I got a game for Nintendo 64 that I've wanted for a long time and just never got around to buying. Finally got it. Sin and Punishment, imported from Japan. Obviously, a great game by Treasure, which is a developer I'm quite fond of. So I'm looking forward to playing this at some point. A few Super Famicom games, also imported from Japan, obviously. Dragon Squadron Danzarb. I can't tell you what the actual Japanese title is. It's not easy to memorize, but this is sort of an RPG. It's been fan translated by Eon Genesis. So check out the translation sometime. I wanted to have this for my collection. Seems like a cool game. It's kind of obscure. I also got a little less of an obscure Super Famicom RPG. I got Dragon Quest III. This is the only 16-bit version of the game ever made, so that's why I thought it was worth getting. I tend to prefer 16-bit over 8-bit, so in my opinion, this is probably the best version of the game. I got a couple games here exclusive to the Super Famicom that I'm pretty excited about. I got Do Lucky's A-League Soccer, which is sort of a non-traditional soccer game. I'm not big on soccer or soccer games, but this one is pretty fun. And after you win in single-player mode, you can actually like fight a boss. How often in sports games do you get to fight bosses? I think that's really cool. I can't say a whole lot about this game, but it seems like a really good sports game. I also got an obscure gem called Dharma Dojo. My sisters saw the front of the box and they nicknamed it Krillin Ball Z because the guy looks like Krillin on the front from Dragon Ball Z. It actually has nothing to do with Krillin or Dragon Ball Z. It's actually sort of a puzzle game. It's not too complicated, but it's kind of hard to explain without showing it to you, so I'm not really going to try. So go look it up on YouTube or something if it piques your curiosity. For Nintendo DS, I got more Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest IV and Dragon Quest VI. So now I have all 4 of the main series Dragon Quest games on Nintendo DS, which is cool. I have yet to beat any of them, but I got a lot to look forward to. Got a few, 3 PS1 games. Got Pac-Man World. I've owned Pac-Man World 2 for a long time. I like that game. I saw this for cheap, so I thought I'd get it. It's the Black Label release. I like the disc art. That's pretty cool. 4 ghosts. Seems like a good game. I like the music too. I got Bushido Blade, which is a fighting game from Squaresoft. Uh, what's cool about this game is it's the most realistic weapon fighting game you'll ever play, as meaning that uh, your character can actually win with only one hit if you hit them in the right spot, or if you hit people like in the legs, for example, it'll actually cripple them. So they took a more realist approach rather than something like Soul Calibur, which just has life bars. And I got Saga Frontier, which is a neat RPG from Square. It's kind of open-ended, and you can choose from a bunch of different characters to play as, like kind of in any order you want. Similar to a game called Live Alive that Square also made for the Super Famicom. Uh, this one's in pretty good condition. Disc looks great. I got it for a good price. I'm really happy with that. For the Turbo CD, I got Star Parodier, which is a funny shoot 'em up that mainly parodies Star Soldier. You can play as Bomberman, and you can also play as an actual PC Engine system, which I think is really funny. Like you can shoot out discs, and you collect game cards for power ups, because the TurboGrafx 16 used these things called Hue cards. I think that's how you pronounce them. Hue cards, HU cards. I don't know how it was, but like if you've ever seen them, you know what I'm talking about. This game was released well, only in Japan originally, but they released it on the Wii Virtual Console in North America. So if you like shoot 'em ups, you like funny games like Parodius, check it out there. It's not quite as good as Parodius in my opinion, but it's a cool game. And then last but not least, I got a Sega Saturn haul on Craigslist. I bought a guy's Saturn and all his games. I actually had a Saturn crap out on me recently, so I was kind of looking for another one. So I'm happy to have this opportunity to get a new one. This one works great. This is one of the games I got for it as part of the package, Nights into Dreams, which I already had, but it never hurts to have 2 copies. Let me just pull the box over here so I can pull the stuff out easier. Came with 2 controllers, one of them being the 3D controller for Nights into Dreams and other stuff as well, of course. One of the earlier analog controllers. It's kind of a weird one. You'd have to like kind of actually touch it yourself to know what I mean. Then I got, speaking of weird, here's a weird controller I had never heard of before. It's Explorer is, I guess, the company that makes it, and it's called the Super Joypad. It kind of feels like it would be the controls for like a flight sim game in the arcades, although obviously there's like no like, yeah, basically it feels like some sort of a steering wheel of some sort that you would see in an arcade game, but it's not. It has a really unique grip. I actually kind of like it, and it has turbo functionality. You look at all these switches here that you can play with. The buttons are really small. I haven't actually tried it out yet, but it seems like kind of a neat controller. It's unique. I mean, nothing's as good as the Sega Saturn pad, the Model 2 Sega Saturn pad, but this is kind of nice for changing things up once in a while, I guess. Now more games. Got a couple disc only. I got Alien Trilogy, which is a first-person shooter. Not really interested in playing that. I got Command and Conquer, which is obviously a pretty famous PC game. I've actually, me not being a PC gamer, I've never owned or played a Command and Conquer game before. So it's kind of neat to have this. I'm gonna try it out probably at some point. Now for games that come in their boxes, let's start out with one that comes in a small box. Virtua Fighter, the original pack-in game for the Saturn. Probably not really gonna play it much at all ever, but it's kind of neat to have the game that originally came with the system. Long box games, we have Madden 97 missing the manual. This is just like a play sheet. It's Madden NFL 97. I actually have the multi-tap and a whole mess of controllers, so I could play this with like 8 people if I wanted to. Probably never will, but I guess it never hurts to have that option. F1 Challenge, which seems like kind of a generic racing game that I'm probably never going to play. Daytona USA, which I actually used to own, and then I got rid of it, and now I have it again. Not a huge fan of this version. I think the arcade version is way more fun than this. We got some Tetris Plus, which was also released on the PS1. Me being a fan of Tetris, I actually am glad to have this, and I'm looking forward to trying it out sometimes. It has a few modes that you don't see in regular Tetris for Game Boy or anything. So I'm really happy with this little pickup. The jewel case is actually in decent condition, which, as you will see, is actually pretty unique in this set because some of these jewel cases are just a mess. Here we got Virtua Fighter 2, another game that I used to own and now own again. I'm probably never really going to play this one either. If I ever want to play Virtua Fighter, I'll just play 4 on the PS2. But, man, look at this. It just comes right out. The hinges are broken. I don't know how well you can see it, but the plastic is broken off right here, so it leaves the paper insert, cardboard insert, whatever you call it, leaves it completely exposed. Don't like that. This is a lousy shape. I'm probably going to swap this case out for something else. I got Romance of the Three Kingdoms 4. I have never owned a Romance of the Three Kingdoms game before, so I'll try it out. It doesn't seem like it would be right up my alley per se, but it's worth a try. This does not come with the original backside artwork, unfortunately, but it does have the manual, which is important. The manual for this game is actually pretty thick. So it's a strategy game that's pretty complex. We got PGA Tour 97, and oh boy, is this jewel case in bad shape. It's dirty, it's cracked. Hinges, of course, are broken. The hinges have to be broken on any bad condition case. Got a big old crack right in the back there, too. This is an ugly, ugly case. Now, for 3 games I actually already owned, we got Darius Gaiden, which, amazingly, the hinges are intact. Yay! But that doesn't mean it's in good condition. We got one crack here, big one right across the front, and some of the plastic is broken off at the top here, which is kind of sucks. As for the game itself, I actually already own it, as I said before. It's a decent shoot 'em up, but average in my opinion. You can also play it in Taito Legends 2 for PS2 and Xbox. This version probably has a few more options than that version, since it's not just a straight arcade port. But this game actually, if you're interested in it, it would be for the value of it, because it's actually worth a little bit of money. Not a lot, like it's no Shining Force, Panzer Dragoon Saga or anything, but it's got a little bit of value, so I'm happy to pick that up, even though I already own it. We got Street Fighter Alpha 1. Again, jewel case in pretty decent shape. I'm probably going to switch this out for a game I have, some other game I have that has a bad jewel case. I already had it. It's a good game. Probably kind of obsolete compared to like Alpha 2, for example, but it's a good straight port of the arcade version. A little better than the PS1 version. And then the last game for this video is NBA Jam Tournament Edition, and I believe, yes, these hinges are intact as well. This jewel case actually looks decent. Again, another one I might swap out. Actually, I think the NBA Jam case that I have from the copy I already have is actually in worse condition than this. I think the hinges are broken on that one. Yeah, this is a little closer to the arcade version, although I've heard that there are some flaws with the 32-bit ports of this game. It's still cool to have a version of it with arcade graphics. So, yeah, that was my haul for this past, I don't know, 10 days or so. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment or request something you'd like to see me do a video on. And I'll get to it whenever, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Samurai Sam's channel.